Jaeger, and I'm Dean of Academic Excellence and Innovation at Knox Grammar School, and I'm also President of the English Teachers of New South Wales. I'm going to talk to you today about approaches to HSC Standard English for the modules. This is paper 2 of your HSC exam. The modules are so much more demanding than paper 1 because you have to remember so much information as well. And also because you've got so many related texts that you actually have to find to suit Module A and Module C. So I'm going to move through, first of all, an introduction to the modules and in terms of what the demands are of it and how I'd recommend you start setting up your essays in preparation for it. So first of all, you would realise already that there are 3 modules, and the first one is called Experience Through Language, and that's Module A. By its very nature, experience through language means that you are looking at how language conveys meaning. The second one, Module B, is the most traditional module, and it's this close study of a text. So that means you need to know your text intimately, be it poetry, film, novel, or a play. And of course, Module C, Text and Society, is about context. And again, it goes back to Module A again about experience through language because you're looking at how context shapes language, form, and the way that meaning is conveyed. So first of all, to try and understand all these modules, you're expected to produce a number of thesis statements. Thesis statements are your point of view in response to the text. And that's really challenging because many years ago when I first marked Standard English, students didn't develop a thesis statement. They simply responded to a question, they wrote about their texts. What I discovered quickly over the years of marking is that students today in Standard English are producing amazing conceptual statements and thesis development in their essays. They're writing remarkably. So that makes this course incredibly challenging in terms of ranking and marks. So it means that you need to develop your conceptual understanding and you need to develop those thesis statements. So how do you do that? You have to ask yourself, what do the texts tell you about the human experience? So if you're looking at a wonderful little film like Billy Elliot, you ask yourself, what does that film tell us about what it is to be a young person who desires far more than mining and what his father wants him to do? Or what does it mean to be a father who's known nothing but the tradition of mining, who could never think of a son of his actually being a dancer and doing ballet in London? So it's about asking those questions. What do they tell you about your own human experience, about you? Because as Plato said, we're all beings in search of meaning in our lives. And that's what these texts are about. They're the search for knowledge and understanding about the human condition. So you're going to ask then, what have you learned about the human condition? Then what I want you to do, when you have a look at a novel or a suite of poetry or the speeches, the film or a play, find the key line or lines, the key moment or the key image in the text. Actually do this at a bit of a competition in your class. It took my students about 3 days to crack it when I asked them, for example, for the text they were looking at, the novel. Because if you find it, it suddenly opens, it's like finding a key and opening this amazing meaning behind the text because you get the big picture understanding of a text. You also need to consider the tension and ambiguity in texts. So what's the tension, for example, in Billy Elliot, between a young man who wishes to dance and leave his town behind, and then also the loyalty and love that he feels for his father and not wanting to let him down?